Right. So I bought this, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right, but it's a ShinHye. Single person, one person tent off of Amazon. They were having a terrific sale. I think it's the, we use the term, cheapest tent on the internet right now. I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you how much. $39.99. So under $40. ShinHye backpacking tent for camping. It says one or two person. This is one person. Ultra light. I weighed it instead of looking at the specs. And with this bag, so this weighs a little something. It was 4 pounds, 1.3 ounces. So basically 4 pounds. It says ultralight backpacking, easy setup, waterproof. We'll find out about that. Lightweight for backpacking, blah, blah, blah. It says the same thing like 5 times. Backpacking. My intent is really to probably use it backpacking and on motorcycle trips. Okay, so the size, you know, I'm not a big guy, so I'm 5'6". So this is not a real big tent. 4 pounds is not a whole lot. Pretty easy. You got this handle here. Also, you have on the bottom these straps. So I suppose if you pack your pack correctly, you can actually connect this up on your pack as well. I think I would put it in the center of my pack in the back because it probably would be the heaviest thing I have. All right, so let's see what this does. So I can just unhook this a little bit. The straps look nice, not too bad. The plastic that I just pulled on. This is the first time I opened it, by the way. Comfortable. I don't feel any, flashing or plastic that's sticking out. Now the top, I see we have. Let me bring a little close up to you. So this is a little drawstring. You got a button you push. This will come down. It's got a knot in the end that'll check. Make sure that foot doesn't fall off. We open up the bag. Got all kinds of these. We have the instructions inside the bag. Isn't that nice? So you don't have to go look for them on the internet or something. But I'm a guy, so probably not going to read the instructions. Oh, yeah, this is nice. You got the handle on the end. Pull that off. Again, instructions are right there. And they're printed, are they in English? That's in it. They are. They're in English. Instructions for use. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, cannot be cleaned with a washing machine. Yeah, I don't think I would ever throw my tent in a washing machine. That's interesting. After every trip, clean the tent, the poles, the ground nails, mainly targeting snow, rain, dust, snow. So they're thinking I'm going to use this in the winter in the snow. I don't know about that. The material, so this is probably the same material the tent's going to be made out of. It's actually pretty good. I could feel on the inside it is coated, so it may very well be rain proof, if not rain resistant. The sewing and the stitching, it is, it's okay. I think the stitching is fine. Let's open this up in the bag, kind of see what that looks like. So let's get a closer view. So you can see, like most of these things, it's just stitched like that. There's no sealing, but you don't really need it for the bag, right? But the stitching looks pretty good. They used a nice green thread. Okay, so we have a tie. We're going to untie the tie. You pull the right string. And then after you untie it, we should have, I'm going to guess, I think 5 pieces? 5 pieces. All right. So let's start with the tent. This is the tent. The bottom is black. It feels pretty good. I don't think it would just rip real easy. The seams are sewn very nice. These are the straps we're going to use in a minute that we're going to actually tag this down with the stakes and then put the poles into it. So a little different than you see on other tents. This is a more simpler version of not having a ring. I like to have the rings down here. So that's fine. Let's check them all. We got one. There's another one. This one looks fine. Just to make sure that they're all sewn in properly. We should have 2 more. So there's 4 corners to this tent. Yep. There is a loop too. If you want to do it differently, I suppose you could do that. You tie some weights to it or something if you didn't have a way to sock it down to the ground. Okay. So let's go ahead. I guess this string could get lost. So let's put it in the bag. Next, the tent. All right, so it is rectangular, all right? And so I'm going to try to put the door, which way do I want to show you this thing? Let's put the door towards you. So here's my rectangle. And by the way, I would use a ground sheet. You know, a lot of these tents come with ground sheets now, so I don't know. I think that's something, it's only a piece of plastic. You can do it yourself, but it would have been nice if it was included. But it doesn't have to be. I mean, personally, I might even get a piece of Tyvek. All right, part two. Part two is this thing. So these are the little tent pegs that you put in the ground. And these are, for me anyways, you can see them here, these are heavy. I mean, what's heavy? I should weigh those and let you know exactly how many ounces these are. Don't feel like they're a pound, but they're not, these are steel. I can feel that. They're not aluminum, which means you probably won't bend them, right? I have heard that you get an extra one. So these are chrome plated, which is nice. You know, it makes it so it's easy to see. Put the little bag inside the bag, make sure I don't lose that. If I come off the camera, sorry about that. Okay. So tent stakes. We just had a little rain, so this is probably good. Okay, so there's 2 grommet holes. So the pole's gonna go in one, the tent stake's gonna have to go in one. Here we go. So I would just stick it down and then, you know, push it through. If you can't push it through the ground, then you might want to get a little, don't bang them with a steel hammer. You get a little, they sell plastic hammers. I would just get a little plastic hammer, or, because once you bend these things, they're a real pain. Then the chrome comes off, they start rusting. All right, whoops. There we go. I want to make sure this little flat part, right, the angled part, points away from the hole, so when you pull it, that doesn't pull out. Okay. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, these go in really smooth. I like that. All right, we'll put the 4th one in here. All right. Now, that's it. I got 4 more. I mean, how hard is that? Next, and by the way, this is it's like a little net that you can put up in the top of the tent to put your belongings in, like your phone or your flashlight or whatever, a few little things. Next is going to be the tent poles. Now, the description, you know, I'm not bashing this, I don't even know this manufacturer, but the description said aluminum poles. I'm like, kind of highly doubt they're aluminum or steel or anything like that. They're probably fiberglass, and in fact they're fiberglass, right? So it does say in the description one thing. They're probably just referring to these are made out of steel. On the end here, these little chrome plated things. These are heavy. These are definitely not a lightweight set of poles, but that's fine. I would say this is the heaviest thing in the entire tent. So you could get your own. I saw some videos where someone makes them out of a hollow aluminum tube that they got from their arrows. They just took their arrows and modified them. You probably looked that up on YouTube. All right, so this has a bungee cord. It's nice bungee, you know, it's not bad. And then you just kind of go in the hole here, and you just bungee the thing together. There should be 2 of these, 2 poles, right? They make an X, they crisscross in the middle, and you just put those together like that. That's it, right? And then there's a little point on the end. You're gonna stick that in the hole. So any of the 4 is fine, right? So I'm just gonna stick it in one. And then you go diagonal across to the other side. And people, you know, they'll put it in and just let it drop. I kind of like putting the tape onto it. I saw one person, what they did was they looped them through these things. They actually put them through. These are clip-on. You just real easy little clip-on things. Clip them on, and it's going to be going across, right? So you want to make sure you go across the tent like that. Now let's get the other side. No, it's not going to stand up. Not yet, not until I get the other one in. But this will help me stretch the tent out. There we go. And then this one, and this is very similar to that. Now these plastic clips, right? If they were too small, you know, even in the cold it would not be good. They would crack and break. So I was a little concerned. I'm in Texas right now. Yeah, it's a nice day. It's probably about 80 degrees. Not bad, and I can feel the black plastic getting a little warm, a little soft. That's it for that. Maybe we'll stand up. All right. And then take the other one and assemble it. And these are easy peasy to assemble. You could have, you know, if you got a 10-year-old kid, you could probably put these together. This would be a good little camping tent for the backyard if you want to get, children to learn how to set tents up and experience being out in the backyard or neighbor's yard. All right, so this goes across the other side. Crisscross, crisscross. Put it in the hole. Remember, there's 2 holes. So one for the peg. Now, you can't see this, but I'm hooking up the same clips. You'll see where the clips go. They're not marked, but you want to bring the tent up, right? So it's the right distance, and then just clip those in. And then while I'm here, this goes in the top. It's a little tie just to kind of keep things together. It keeps the top of the tent up. So you can see there's some pressure. You know, these tents, you don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on stuff. I would say maybe that's about as far as I want to go. I kind of feel like it might even be too tight. But you don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on things because stuff will rip or it'll wear out prematurely. So try to, you want to make it taut enough where things look good, but not so taut that it's going to tear. Okay. The tent is up. I don't know. Did you time that? I'll have to look and see how long that took. Now the next thing, okay, so you got these are orange, and they have reflective little circles. Oh, something came up. I just felt that. Yep, that's fine. So one of the little pegs is a little too taut. Remember to tell you, you don't want to have it too taut. There we go. One of the pegs. So these are orange and the reflective, and you don't need to hook these up if you're not going to get a strong wind. All right. So they got them in the front, and they got them in the back. So that would be 4 more pegs. I may do that just so we can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's interesting. They don't give you an extra peg. So there are 4 more pegs for these little tie downs, all right? And depending on which direction the wind came, I would see where I want to put these. I think I saw one person put it right down the foot. That's not how they work. You want this to be opposing, so in front, the back, and the front and the back of this. And the last part is, or the second to last, is this here, it becomes like a little vestibule, right? Now I see they have it's kind of like an elastic cord. So how would I want to do that? I'm going to use both loops of the elastic cord. Just kind of put this out here until I kind of figure out, see what it looks like. The zipper, you got 3 zippers. So you got a zipper for the mesh. When you zip these things up, these are not, YKK zippers, so you want to kind of be careful. YKK is a brand that's super heavy duty. I don't want to rip this, so be very careful. I'm going to sense how much pressure can it take and keep the bugs out. Okay, so we got one there. Got some more instructions. We got one down the bottom. Grab these sticks. And got one across the bottom here. Now, I will tell you, if you can see that, this top zipper, okay, can go all the way down. So the 3 zippers meet and you end up with maybe about the pencil size hole in the bottom that maybe a bug could get in. So this has a floor. It's a bathtub type floor where it comes up all the way around the sides. That's good for when it's raining. You get the spray back, and if you get too much water down the bottom, it'll come in your tent. The seam is right here, so you don't want water to go up into the seam. I kind of don't think these are seam sealed. Probably not. All right, so then you got this little thing here. I'm gonna put this back in again. I'll put the peg at an angle. That's it. Okay. So now you basically get in and out of the tent like this. I'll hang a little thing in the top later. That's not a big deal. There's a hook. There's a few hooks in the top inside, so you can hook a lantern or stuff that you want in there. I use a candle lantern sometimes. I wonder if I would put it Okay, here we go. Look at that. All right, so this has a stake holder too. So if you wanted to, you know, let's say we're going for a hike, you could put this second one. It's a bungee cord kind of thing. And you can put the second one in there too, that'll hold it. All right. And for demonstration purposes, the last thing I would say is there's these little ties on the side. So the vent is up at the top. There's no windows in the back or the sides. So for ventilation, especially a hot day like today, you're gonna wanna keep one of these open, like this. This part here, maybe you would put your boots or something if it's gonna rain, but I'd probably keep them inside. Or maybe a small bag of not food over there on the side. So the last thing would be that you can take this, any of these little sides here, and you roll them up, you know, like any tent. Roll it up, and you take this little hook, and you put it through there. Now there's also a hook inside, so if you wanted to have the whole tent open, you could do that too. All right. Well, let me see. I'll give you a little quick walk around, and that is. There's a little quick walk around. I mean, it's easy to set up. The materials seem fine. I don't think I would have a problem with it. Oh, there's one more thing I want to show you actually, and that's going to be, let's say it's going to rain. What prevents the rain from getting in through that mesh in the top? So this rain fly, some of the tents I saw on Amazon, they were permanently installed. This one is not. Permanently installed meant that it's hooked up so if the wind comes you don't lose it. But I'm not too worried about that. So you can hook this up to, let's try this. I'm going to hook this right up to this little hook down the bottom here. Alright. And then, so this is supposed to keep rain from coming into the top of the tent. Alright. So you see it goes over the top like that. It's going to get hot. So if it's not going to rain, you're going to want to leave it off. Okay, I'm going to hook this up. You could hook it up to the orange strap too, which is more elastic. You know, I might even do that. So these little hooks I'm going to hook up to the elastic instead. And the instructions probably tell you to do that, just because I felt like maybe the front will leave like that. So you don't want it flapping in the wind. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you just need to hook up to the elastic. And you need to put it through the cloth strap. Okay, that's it. So all that's supposed to do is keep rain from blowing into the top, and I think it'll do a good job. So I guess when it rains, I'll have this out here and we'll take a look. So I'm inside this tent now, and yeah, it's really hot out there. But you do get, you know, a breeze. I would open this other door here so you can see this mesh. It's really nice. It's really good mesh. I don't think mosquitoes can't get through it. I'm not going to be leaning on this tent. I fit in here perfectly, so I'm not going to be leaning on the tent. They're not going to bite me through the mesh. I would open this door, keep that one open as well. So I have one door open. I got the top open. Yeah, it's going to be hot, you know, when the sun is blazing on the thing. But it's got nice little hooks. You can see 4 of them for that little, you know, you can hang some stuff up there, or you take them off and there's a hook right in the middle. You can hang your lantern. There's ties on the inside if you want to tie the doors all open. The bathtub floor seems fine. Again, I would use a ground sheet. The materials, you know, they're seeming like they're pretty good. I don't find any issues with the corners. Everything is sewn fine. There's been some tents that people complained there was a lot of threads and things, you know, left in the materials. This has been gone over very well, quality-wise. And really, that's it. You know, I would say for $39.95, or you know, if you spend $59, if you spend $60 for this tent, you know, from this manufacturer, I think that would be fine. You know, there's other tents out there. You know, I've spent $400 on a tent, and it's completely different. You know, different expectation. This one is going to be Very inexpensive. Just put it in my pack or put it in my motorcycle, and I will be good to go. So, thank you for watching.